Imagine a story that blurs the line between reality and fiction, echoing a gripping zombie apocalyptic movie.
JJ, say hi.
Lori Vallow Daybell, a mother of 3, was charged with the murder of her 2 missing children, citing bizarre beliefs about zombies and evil spirits as partial motives. Shocking, right? But this is not a work of fiction. It's a real-life case that has captured worldwide attention. Vallow Daybell, aka Doomsday Mom, was charged with the murder of Tylee Ryan and Joshua Jackson JJ Vallow. But the disturbing details that have come to light make this case truly chilling. Lori Vallow Daybell believed her children had become zombies controlled by dark spirits, and a common practice was that the body had to be destroyed. She referred to her daughter as a zombie after she refused to babysit her younger brother. This case has drawn widespread speculation and even inspired the Netflix true crime series Sins of Our Mother and the book When the Moon Turns to Blood.
More details in the twisted case of 2 missing kids with Valley ties.
This might be the last footage of Joshua Vallow, known as JJ, and his sister Tylee Ryan, before the rest of their bodies were found on Chad Daybell's property in Salem, Idaho. Before we go further, we would like to express our condolences to the family and loved ones of Tylee Ryan and Joshua Jackson J. Vallow, and for the pain and suffering that Lori Vallow Daybell's actions have caused. Our thoughts are with you during this difficult time, and I hope that you find comfort and peace in your memories of them. Lori Vallow Daybell was married to 4 other men before she came together with her recent husband, Chad Daybell, in 2019. Mother of 3, Colby Ryan, Tylee Ryan, and Joshua Vallow, known as JJ, Lori was a loving mom to them. She wasn't cold or heartless, but loving and kind, a mother that every child would love to have. You'd never want to believe that someone like this, whom everyone looked up to, is capable of something heinous, because everyone that met her fell in love with her beautiful and caring attitude right away. One of her best friends who came to testify said she admired how she treated her children, especially JJ, who has autism and needed special attention. To put the icing on the cake, Lori Vallow made several appearances on TV while married to her first husband in 2004. She won $17,500 as a contestant on Wheel of Fortune and also competed in the Mrs. Texas beauty pageant, cementing her exceptionalism. During that time, when asked who she was, made her tick, she mentioned how important being a good wife and mother was to her. However, in a disturbing foreshadowing of events to come, in the same interview, Lori ominously described herself as a ticking time bomb.
I'm basically a ticking time bomb.
A dark turn. Lori's life took a dark turn in the years following her statement on TV. Not long after her appearance on TV, Lori filed for divorce, claiming that Joseph Ryan, her husband at the time, was abusing her child Colby Ryan. And then in 2006, she finally got together with Charles Vallow, married him, and had what seemed to be a happy family. Traveling, family hangouts, and religion were part of what seemed to be the surface of a unified family. But the truth of an unhappy marriage exploded when Charles Vallow called the police, claiming that Lori might have left with her children and might be a danger to them, as she is beginning to act strange, believing a zombie apocalypse might be here sooner than we expect. After being interviewed and sent for a psychological test, she didn't get committed. Soon after, a series of murders began surrounding Lori's life. But why did this great mom change so drastically? It all started in 2017 while still married to Charles. She began reading books about Doomsday, Armageddon, and the End of Days, written by Chad Daybell. According to Lori's close friends, she soon became obsessed. She would discuss it all the time, and it became a problem in her marriage. The two finally met in 2018 at a general conference in October 2018. They soon started doing podcasts together, discussing several apocalyptic topics. One friend of Lori said in an interview that Lori had told her that Chad said 2 of them were married in a previous life. Their relationship kicked off, and they both got special phones to use and communicate with each other. Their affair was no ordinary one. The two often discussed zombies and people whose souls had been replaced by dark spirits, and that was how she started calling her husband and children zombies. By January 2018, Charles Vallow became very concerned. He contacted the police for help, saying Lori had threatened to kill him, that she believed she was a god preparing for the end of the world, and by February, he filed for divorce, quoting fears for his safety and that of the children. Sadly, the case didn't stick. Then, on a sunny day on July 11, 2019, in Arizona, Charles Vallow was found dead, brutally murdered with a gunshot to the head by Lori's brother, Alex Cox. Arriving at the scene, Lori's reactions left everyone shocked. She was cold and had no emotions about the death of Charles, an ex-husband she spent moments of happiness with. The murder of Tylee J. Vallow. September 8, 2019. Lori Vallow or Alex Cox took Tylee and JJ to Yellowstone National Park on that day before they were last seen in Sept 2019. They were not reported until November.
JJ Vallow or Tylee Ryan since September. Investigators say their mother refuses to say where they are.
After JJ's grandmother asked the police to do a welfare check on the kids, since Lori refused to show the kids for days to the family, raising a lot of suspicion. Lori Vallow was given 5 days to bring the kids to the police by the end of January 2020, but failed to do so. The search began, but there was no sign of life. There was no sign of death. There were just questions, frustrating questions. Investigation. What really happened on September 2019? How did authorities find the body of J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan? We know that Lori viewed her brother Alex Cox as the destroyer of bad things. He was there to take, and she had to be saved by burning her body. To his apartment, and then after 9 in the morning, his cell appears at Chad Daybell property in... At that time, Chad Daybell wrote to his wife Tammy Daybell, saying he had spotted a raccoon at their fence and had killed and buried it at the spot. Tylee's remains were later found. At the time JJ was last seen, Melanie Gibb and her boyfriend David Warwick were staying with Lori. At midnight on September 22, while Melanie and David were doing a religious podcast, Alex Cox arrived. This was the last day anyone saw Tylee Ryan. For Lori, 16 years old, Tylee Ryan was a problem. But why? She became a zombie. Lori started referring to her as a zombie, said she had a dark spirit. So on September 8th, Lori Alex Cox took JJ Tylee to Yellowstone Park, where Tylee was last seen. Investigators say that it was around 6:45 p.m. when they left the park. That night, at 2:45, police tracked Alex Cox's cell to Lori's apartment. In the morning, he goes back where he stayed there for over 2 hours, and then, at 11:53 a.m., he left the property. Alex brought JJ into the house because he had fallen asleep. They both testified that Alex carried him to bed in Lori's room, but by morning, JJ was nowhere to be found. According to them, Lori said JJ was becoming a zombie, that he climbed up on the cabinets. Melanie asked to see him, but Lori said he was out of control, so she called Alex to come to get him. Investigators used Alex's phone to also find out what happened after at 9:55 a.m. on September. Cox went back to Chad's backyard, but he was only there for 17 minutes, so could he have dug the grave and buried him within that time? He had to have had help. And considering that was Chad Daybell's property, and that he was a grave digger for a profession when he was younger, that's an awful coincidence. And unfortunately, that was it for young J.J. Vallow, the quest to find the body. When the world found out the kids were missing, Lori was given the order to produce Tylee and JJ within 5 days. She ignored it and was arrested on the island of Kauai on child abandonment charges after getting married to Chad. What was really surprising to the public authorities is how calm and relaxed she was as a parent that has her kids missing. That detail brought the light to the mind of those investigators to dig more into the secrets which were hiding. With the help of Alex Cox's device, FBI investigators located JJ and Tylee's remains on June 9, 2020. Then FBI investigators and local authorities began looking for the body on the property. They started by removing a top layer of earth on a 4-foot by 2-foot patch of grass that was shorter than the rest. They began pulling up the sod and topsoil. which revealed 3 large white rocks, flat rocks. But behind a simple search, it was a mix of feeling for the officer hoping to find something else than those kids, but they were far away to imagine that what they were going to find in that property will be a shocking truth no one had imagined. Underneath the white rocks was some thin wood paneling. As soon as they removed the wood paneling, a small body tightly wrapped in black plastic and covered in duct tape was discovered. Upon closer inspection, investigators recognized that it could potentially be the hair of JJ. Upon conducting a forensic analysis of the remains, the FBI identified the human remains as belonging to Tylee Ryan, who was matched through dental records. During the search, Chad Daybell was observed watching from the driveway in his car. He moved across the street and eventually drove away as the remains were uncovered. Law enforcement officials quickly apprehended and arrested Daybell. With the discovery of the children, the veil of secrecy surrounding this case was finally lifted.
Not guilty or guilty of first-degree murder of Tylee Ryan. Answer, guilty. Is Lori Vallow not guilty or guilty of
Lori is currently on trial in Boise, Idaho, for the murders of JJ and Tylee. The Lori Vallow Daybell case is a chilling reminder of how far religious fanaticism and delusions can drive a person to commit heinous crimes. The death of Tylee and JJ Vallow and the subsequent discovery of their remains have shocked and saddened people around the world. As the trial continues, it remains to be seen what the final outcome will be for Lori Vallow Daybell. This case serves as a haunting reminder that the line between reality and fiction can sometimes blur in the most unexpected and tragic ways. What do you think will be the final outcome of this case?